Hello students, welcome to another mathematics class. Now, this particular week's topic is going to be called determination of the mean, median, and mode of grouped data. I repeat, determination of the mean, median, and mode of grouped data. Now, let us do a quick revision on what we've done so far. I know that even in economics, I have been able to teach you how to draw a histogram, how to draw a bar chart, and even by now you should also know how to draw an ogive. So I don't see much problem on this week's topic, determination of the mean, median, and mode. So quickly, let us go straight to the point. Let's solve a question. This question says, as in your notes, example 1, draw a histogram and a frequency polygon. Draw a histogram and a frequency polygon. This is 2 in 1 for the frequency distribution given in the table below. Don't mind my book. It fell down, so it got a little bit stain of sand. Let us continue. You can see the class interval of 0 to 4, 5 to 9, 10 to 14, 15 to 19, 20 to 24. And you can see the frequency. The number of people you can find between 0 to 4 is 4, 5 to 9 is 6, 10 to 14, 8, 15 to 19, 7, 20 to 24, 5. The questioner says, as we've seen, A, draw a histogram and a frequency polygon, that is A. B says, calculate your mean of your distribution. C says, calculate the modal class. And D says, calculate the median. Very, very easy. Now, example 2, also given in your notes. The table shows the marks obtained by 40 students in a mathematics test. You can see the marks and number of students. Please make sure you have written your note before you watch this video, so that you can follow your notes, listen to this video, and also, follow it so that you understand. Now, the requirement for this example 2 says, construct a frequency distribution table. B, calculate your mean of the distribution. C, draw a histogram for the mark distribution. D, use your histogram to estimate the modal class and the mode. Then E, say calculate the median of the distribution. Now this is how it's going to work in this video. I will do example 1. I will explain example 1 very, very, very clear to you, because I gave you two examples in this particular topic as you have written your notes. Now, example 1 will be explained by me. Example 2, please read on your own and try and understand, because I discovered that doing a lot of time on a particular video cost a lot of data to watch. So let us go on without wasting much time. Look at the solution to example 1. I started with my class interval 0 to 4, 5 to 9, 10 to 14, 15 to 19, 20 to 24. Then my frequency 4, 6, 8, 7, 5. The total of my frequency is 30. And the total of this frequency is called summation F. I'm going to write it for you to see. Summation F. This is how it looks like. Summation F, which means total of frequency. Then my X. How did I get X? X is the same thing as the midpoint. I repeat, X is the same thing as midpoint. Simply add 0 and 4 together, the lower class limit and the upper class limit of your class interval, and divide by 2. You get the midpoint. So 0 plus 4, 4. 4 divided by 2, 2. The same thing here. 5 plus 9, 14. 14 divided by 2, 7. And then you do the rest for the other class intervals. My fx, how do I get fx? Fx means f, which is frequency, multiplied by x. You get fx is f times x. So that means 4 times 2, 8. 6 times 7, 12, 42. 8 times 12, 96, and so on. Then you calculate the total of fx, which is called also summation fx. Summation fx. This sign summation means the total of fx. By now you should know that. Then I go to my class boundary. I taught you earlier that to calculate class boundary, you subtract 0.5 from the lower class limit, and then you add that 0.5 to the upper class limit. This is what I mean. Subtract 0.5 from this, add 0.5 to this. Subtract 0.5 from 5, add 0.5 to 9. Subtract, add. That's how you get your class boundary. And your cumulative frequency, I told you it is the addition of all frequency. When you add your frequencies together, you start with the first frequency, which is 4. See it 4. Then you add the next frequency 6. 4 plus 6, 10. You add the next frequency 8. 10 plus 8, 18, and so on. Now that we've calculated our frequency distribution table, they said we should calculate mean from example 1. And to get mean, the formula for mean is summation fx over summation f, which is total of fx over total of f, which is 375 divided by 30. You get 12.5. That ends mean. That is how to calculate mean of a group data. By now, I believe you know that. B, don't forget the question says draw histogram and a frequency polygon. Two diagrams at the same time, but you draw them separately. So let's draw our histogram. The only difference between a histogram and a bar chart is that the histogram joins together. The bars of the histogram joins together, while the bars of a bar chart does not join together, it's separated. I taught you bar charts. I know you know bar charts, so I taught you in the last class. So let us go on. This is my histogram. As usual, on this particular side is frequency. Looking at the frequency from the question. The frequency from the question is 46875. So I can use an interval when I'm drawing my histogram of 2. Interval of 2, 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Intervals of 2 for my frequency. And below here is class boundary. You know, I've taught you before. What type of class boundary do you use here? You use upper class boundary. And how do you get upper class boundary? You come to this particular place where you have class boundary. This is lower class boundary and this is upper class boundary. So it is upper class boundary you are making use of. From there you can now draw. For the first upper class boundary, 4.5, you have to, like, how do I put it? You have to measure your upper class boundary with your frequency. Now, with your frequency, measure it with frequency. The last class, if you want to draw cumulative frequency curve, which is called ogive, cumulative frequency curve, which is called ogive, you measure your upper class boundary with your cumulative frequency. But in this case, for histogram, you don't measure cumulative frequency with upper class boundary. What you do is you measure upper class boundary with frequency alone, not cumulative frequency. Please take note of that. So for 4.5, I have the bars should be up to 4. For 9.5, the bars, according to my frequency, is 6. You can see that's why the bars is touching together. They have one similar line. That's why it's called histogram. The bars must touch. Now for 14.5, it is up towards 8. As I can see, it is up to 8. The bars will touch, and so on, and that's how you draw your bars. Now, the next question says, from your histogram, calculate your modal class. Calculate your modal class. In order for you to calculate your modal class, you check the bar with the highest bar. You check all your bars together check all bars together. This is bar 1, bar 2, bar 3, bar 4, bar 5. You check the bar that has the one that is the tallest bar there. Let me just use that English. The tallest bar. And the tallest bar is this one in the middle. So since this is the tallest bar in the middle, I join the points. The tallest bar has a point from here to its corner. You can see it. And then the tallest bar is also joined to this particular point to its corner. Have you seen that? Now, if I ask you for the modal class, the modal class is the upper class boundary where you can find the tallest bar. I repeat, the modal class is the upper class boundary. This is upper class boundary. The one at the bottom is upper class boundary. The modal class is the upper class boundary where you have the tallest bar. So where do I have the tallest bar in this question? This is the tallest bar. So my modal class is between 9.5 to do what? To 14.5. That's where I can have my tallest bar. So anywhere I can have my tallest bar, if the tallest bar is this bar, then this will be my modal class. If the tallest bar is this particular one, then 0 to 4.5 is my modal class. But in this case, the tallest bar is here between 9.5 and 14.5. That gives me my modal class. Therefore, you see this place that I draw X, I'll trace the middle point. From the middle point, I trace it down little by little to get the mode. Now, this particular point, the figure that is there will be my mode. Now, remember I told you that the modal class is a class that you can find in the upper class boundary where the tallest bar is, which is 9.5 to 14.5. So tracing that X down to the class boundary, you can see that my mode is 12.5, where that my dot line traced to the bottom, 12.5. Now the second one, they say draw your frequency polygon. This is my frequency polygon. Now, to draw a frequency polygon, there is something you need. You need the frequency at your left hand side. That is called frequency polygon. Number of times an event will occur, frequency polygon. So you need the frequency at your left hand side, and below you need the midpoint. The midpoint. And what is midpoint in this particular essence? This midpoint is X. The figures for X. That's the midpoint you need. Are you getting me? Now, go to the table again and ask for your midpoint. This is my table. And my midpoint here is my X, as I said, which is 2, 7, 12, 17, and 22. These are my midpoints. So I am to draw a frequency polygon, you are comparing your midpoint, your X, against with your frequency. Do you understand? You are comparing your midpoint, your X, against your frequency, which is your F. Now, in this case, my midpoint here is 2, 7, 12, 17, 22. But I'm not going to use this, just as I didn't use these particular figures when I was drawing my frequency at the line. I can use an interval. So, going back to the diagram, which is this, since it is 2, 7, 12, 17, 22, and so on, I can use that. So I'll use an interval of 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25. These are my intervals for my midpoint, and these are my intervals for my frequency. So I measure it. So I'm measuring my midpoint against my frequency. So my first midpoint in the table was 2. So where will I find 2 between 0 and 5? I can find 2 in this particular point. Between 0 and 5, I can find 2 here. That's why I trace it up. 2. Under what frequency? 2 was under what frequency? 4. Have you seen it? That's why it is near 4 and below to 2. Now the next one is what? 7. The next midpoint is 7. Where can I find 7? I can find 7 between 5 and 10. 7 should be around here. Under what frequency? Under 6. Have you seen it? The next one, I can find 12. 12 should be around here. between 10 and 15. Under what frequency? 8. So that is how you find and compare your midpoint against your frequency. At the end of the day, since it's called frequency polygon, you just trace the line from 0, trace it up here, trace it to here, trace it here, trace it to this point, trace it here, and then trace it below. Then you've completely sketched your frequency polygon. While your median, the formula for median is L plus N over 2 minus summation F close bracket L all over frequency of median class close bracket C. Now, you need to study this because I will not cram it for you. You need to cram it and study it. Actually, don't cram it. It's simple. What is L? L is lower class of the median class. Lower boundary of the median class. Lower boundary of the median class. What is N? Total number of frequency. We know that one. N is total number of frequency. What is summation FL? It means the sum. This word means summation. So the sum of all frequencies of the class interval lower than the median class. Don't worry. By the time I solve a question using that example 1, you will understand it. And then F median means the frequency of the median class. And this C outside means the class width. So using that question, they say we should calculate median. So therefore, to calculate our median, which is L plus N over 2 minus summation F bracket L, frequency of the median class, close bracket C. So what is L? L is 9.5. Where did I get 9.5? Let me show you. Now, I said I was going to show you how I got L. L is the lower class boundary of the modal class. L is the lower class boundary of the modal class. So you ask yourself, the first histogram that we drew, what was our modal class? Let me go back to the histogram. This is the histogram. What is my modal class? The modal class is the class where the tallest bar is true or false. Yes. So it is between 9.5 and 14.5. This is my modal class. So the lower class boundary of the modal class is the 9.5, which is the lower class boundary. Don't forget, let me repeat it. The modal class is 9.5 to 14.5. Why? These are the points where I have my tallest bar. Therefore, the lower class boundary is 9.5. That is my L. That's why I have 9.5 to be L. What is N? N is 30. Where did I get 30? Total number of frequency. Please go and add your frequency together. You get 30. So N divided by 2 minus FL. According to the definition of FL, FL means the sum of all frequencies of the class interval lower than the median class. That means any frequency that you can see lower than that median class, we should add everything together. That is what this summation F means. It means sum all the frequency lower than the median class. So going back to that our table, have you seen it? My median class, the modal class is 9.5 to 14.5. This particular one is my modal class. So all the frequency lower than this class, we should add it. So what are the frequency lower than this class? 4 and 6. 4 and 6. It is not 8 because 8 is equal to the class. So all the frequency lower than the class, add it together. That is meaning summation of all frequency lower than the median class or the modal class. Do you understand that now? So 6 plus 4 plus 6, 10. And then the frequency of the median class. If you go back to the table, what's the frequency of that median class? The frequency of this median class, is 8. So that's how I got 8. And C means class size. What's the class size? Anybody? I will leave you to go and look for that. Class size. My class size here is 5. So therefore, we now solve 9.5 plus 30 divided by 2, 15. Minus 10 over 8 in bracket 5. 9.5 plus 15 minus 10, 5. 5 times 5, 25 over 8. So I have 9.5 plus 25 divided by 8, you get 3.125. So 9.5 plus 3.125, you get 12.625. So that is how to calculate your median. So I would advise you to go over this median again, please. Go over it again. I told you I can't waste much time on video because it wastes your data. So please go over this median again and how I calculated it. And if you don't understand, go over the video again. It will help you because I explained how you can get L, N, EFL, frequency of the median class, and class size. Please go over it again. And then example 2, try and solve it on your own. Take a sheet of paper and solve. Please impress me because you are writing WAEC very soon. Impress me. It's not everything I will be showing you. Hello? I know that you will impress me. In fact, some of you are already impressing me already. So stay safe, read your books, and always be good children.